What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the Scream TV series and what seasons 3 and 4 were going to be. We got a nice long interview on Bloody Disgusting on the showrunners of season 2, and kind of a lot of behind-the-scenes stories with that in terms of making the TV show. Is the idea of making a TV show still possible? Now, all that stuff we got in this interview, and it's really, really interesting. So I'm not gonna read through the thing. It's very, very long. If you guys want to find it, I'll try to leave a link for it in the description below so you guys can read through the entire thing. But some of the stuff that stood out, well, obviously seasons 3 and 4 stood out of what those seasons were going to be. Now I want to talk about it, okay? Obviously it's going to contain spoilers, so I want to talk about it, and I'm trying to center it on, it was so insane. This is kind of like with the title, right? It's so insane, I don't even know if it could have worked. That's what I actually said on my Twitter when I had retweeted this. It's like, it's so off the walls crazy, I don't even know if I like it. But obviously you'd have to see it. You have to see it to know, if it actually makes sense or not. So basically what we had is, and a little contradiction. Let me start here. Firstly, they were talking about kind of like balancing, doing everything, right? Because they had to do season 2. In order to do season 2, they needed to use what happened in season 1, which it doesn't sound like they were like super thrilled on, right? Because they didn't actually make season 1, but they had to live by it, and they accepted it. And I think honestly, they did a pretty darn good job. They took it a different direction for sure. But at the same time they were making it, they had to also pitch a movie. They had to pitch a TV show movie that would be separate and wouldn't affect the main plot of the series of season 2. And they also had to start putting together what season 3 would be like and get ready to pitch season 3 to the studio to do that. So they were doing all of that at the same time. Now, I actually didn't mind the 2-hour movie, but it definitely was just something that did not need to exist. And also, you had the fact that they killed Kieran in it, which directly influences, but they went through the whole arc in this article of, they originally didn't want that, right? They originally didn't want, or the idea for this movie was it wasn't going to touch the plot, and then now it was going to touch the plot. But basically, what they said for a season 3, I guess, if that Halloween movie never aired, was they were going to bring back Brandon James. He would be alive, he'd be fine, and he'd be more of like a stalker-esque character. He would not be a villain. He would actually try to help out Emma because her and him have that bond. You'd have Kieran, who's still locked up, and he was kind of the mastermind behind it. There was actually him and Piper, he would talk about that entire thing, but there would also be a third killer that's killing, and he is kind of like orchestrating it, almost honestly kind of like a Stu thing, right? And Emma would go there, talk to him, he would end up breaking out. But basically where it gets, so that all sounds kind of fine, right? That kind of sounds in line with season 2. Emma would try to leave and distance herself from the other remaining main cast members just to kind of get away because it was all kind of too much on her. And then by the end of the season 3, every single main character would pretty much die. They would kill this mysterious killer would kill literally all of them, which would include Audrey, which would include Brooke, and then it would be left between Noah, Emma, and Kieran, in which Noah would die, and then Emma would kill Kieran. Now again, there's other details in there, and you guys can read it I'm trying to pick out like the most important things. So they would die, and then it would end. It would say cut, and you'd find out that they were actually filming a TV show. So that's the meta approach to it. The entire thing was faked. All of it. Well, they didn't go too in-depth, but it definitely sounded like the entire thing was fake. And then the actor who plays Kieran would go to his trailer or whatever, and he would be killed in real life. And then the story would be, there's this killer with an actual ghost face mask that's going after the production of the Scream TV show. They'd be killing producers, directors, cast, etc. And then actually they'd have to go track down Courtney Cox. That was an idea too. That maybe you could get her involved, but that's where you would take season 4. So in that way, I don't really know if that would have worked. They had said a big problem from the studio to them is that they think that the fans would have felt betrayed because it's not Emma, it's Willa Fitzgerald. It's not, like these characters wouldn't actually even be these characters. It would be literally the actors or actresses behind them. And then, the showrunners had reasonings for it. But, it is off the walls. It's insane. It is very, well, I don't want to say if it's clever because, isn't it kind of an obvious thing you could do meta-wise with a property like Scream, right? If you're doing this TV show, eventually you pull back the curtain to find out they're actually just filming a TV show adaptation of Scream, and then you could still bring in, so it would be like, it's almost like Stab, but it would just be a TV show, and then all this stuff would be happening around that. It would actually kind of be the same thing. So I don't know how genius it is, but it's definitely like nuts that they would take it in that direction at the very end of season 3 out of 4. And I would actually understand people, feeling betrayed, because I don't even know, again, as I said, I don't actually know if I like that, but it would have been what it would have been. There's other, again, tidbits throughout this. Some of the stuff I find most interesting is that they still feel they could continue this. If they were ever asked, they could continue the Brandon James story. They also feel that there could be other TV shows, or that if they had kind of another chance at this, they would do a TV show directly tied to Scream, to the actual movie franchise, and connect it back to the original. They said they think a Scream TV show idea works, like that idea is something that they could definitely do. They said, MTV, basically it was just a lot of different things going on at that time, right? Pretty much the heads of the studio, like everything was literally crumbling, around them. They saw kind of the writing on the wall. They knew what was going down, and it seems like they don't really hold any, ill will towards them, just because everything literally did collapse at MTV. Then obviously what happened with Scream Resurrection, that's just completely, because that is so different, it just is. So it's interesting. I mean, hearing about it, and even just seeing these characters, like their names again, right? I mean, I want it. I want a continuation. I guess the thing now is, like, if they ever were to continue it, we know the roadmap. So it's like, do they do something different, or would they literally do what they said out loud just now, that they would do? Because then it would be spoiled. We would know everything. So it's tough. But I do, I've said it before in different videos, I really actually did like this TV show. Actually, I would maybe go so far as to say loved. I think I like it a lot more than a lot of other people do, and I get not liking it 100%. I understand it, but I appreciate it. I really did, and I wanted to see, and I still do want to see, the closure for it. So, at least we got a little of it, although we wouldn't know. They didn't say in this interview how, it would end. They basically broke down season 3, and then where season 4 would kind of start. But they never really said, okay, bad guy is the final thing. In fact, they even said they didn't know who the third person was yet. They were going to actually make it a new character. It was going to be that third killer. So the third killer wouldn't have been Noah. It wouldn't have been Emma. They would have made it seem to be them in season 3, but ultimately, it wouldn't have been them. But they never really discussed, what the ending of the series would be. They basically just broke down season 3, which, again, seemed wild, and I don't know if I would have liked it, but boy, would I would have wanted to, watch it live as it was, going on. So let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow me anywhere else, all of my social media is in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you guys on the next video.